Hello, my friends, and welcome to a space where pleasure is treasured, relaxation is not what you think it is, and life firing on all cylinders is what we're about. If you are somebody who wakes up every day asking for way more, consider this your happy place. Welcome to the Creation of Living podcast. I'm your host, Heather Nichols. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Creation of Living podcast. It's Heather Nichols, and oh my goodness, wow. It has been a time. I have been talking to so many people going through some really interesting stuff. I've been on my own journey as well, just changing some really big stuff right now. And I really, I'm excited. I have to say, I'm excited about the change that is afoot. What has occurred? What has changed? And what is changing? What's opening up in the world? I just finished an access consciousness class called Platforms this weekend with Gary Douglas and Dane here. And we were talking about so many things, way beyond anything I could go into really now. But we had a conversation about money, and Dane was saying, I was saying there's so many people that I've been talking to that have been kind of struggling with money recently. And, there's a lot of economic changes in the world, political changes, people getting worried about things, freaked out about stuff, really interesting financial times. And, you may be feeling it, you may not be feeling it, but you're probably aware of it no matter what. And Dane said, it's always darkest before the dawn. And I have been really aware of that. I think I may have even spoken of that in other podcasts before, where it's like, or I think I did a video about it last week, where you really have to be know when it's time to take two more steps. And this is a two more step moment like never before. I haven't seen anything like it. And it really requires us to trust, as with any level of, big energetic change. We gotta trust. We've got to trust that the change that we know is occurring, that is like kind of feels like it's afoot, that it just to trust ourselves really is what it boils down to. Because change occurs under the surface. It's kind of like underground, and then something happens, something shows up where there's, like it starts to bubble up. It's like a garden. One of my favorite analogies for this is a garden where you plant your seeds and you are not going to see anything for a long time. But there's so much going on under the ground, under the surface. And so energetic change is like that. And I think a lot of us have been, working our booties off for quite a while to kind of, to create and actualize this, a lot of change in so many different areas. And it's not about arriving to a certain point. It's like just, having change occur. And there's always more. There's always more that we can change. There's always more that we can create. And as we do, we have to really trust the energetics. And the only way that we can trust the energetics is by trusting our awareness of that and our awareness of what's actually going on. And so, and how do you do that? You ask and you play with the energies of creation, because the money, if you're asking to create more money, it will not be in your bank account. Like you might start playing with things energetically. It's going to change energetically before it shows up in your bank account. And sometimes it takes a lot of rearranging of things on like from the universe to rearrange things to allow it to actualize. And that's, but if we don't give up, we don't give in, we don't quit, we keep going, we keep using whatever tools we know to use and all of the resources we have, that whatever change that you're asking for, whether it's with money or anything else, or just something you're asking to create, it will show up. You just have to sit back and you have to trust. And one of the most powerful tools, well, let me add on to what I just said. It's not that you just have to sit back and trust. Yes, you do need to sit back and trust, and also stay in action. Stay in the question of, what can I create? What can I choose today? What can I be and do today that's different? And as you do that, like when things show up for you to take action on, take the action. So, there's it's not just sitting there and waiting, it's taking daily action, looking at what different actions you can take every day to actualize new and different things. And that's how we create actually like a tsunami of change and creation, and how we like really nurture the energies under the surface. It's like preparing the most fertile soil for those seeds that you plant to grow. And if you've spent your time preparing the soil beautifully, then you are going to have a phenomenal garden. If it's watered appropriately, if it's in a good position for the sun, and you've tended to the soil, you're going to have an amazing garden. The hardest work with a garden is before planting, preparing the soil and preparing the actual garden itself. Maybe you're putting in irrigation, or whatever you're doing, orienting it toward the sun. And when we when we've done when once we've prepared it, then we have to allow it to we have to allow the elements to work their magic. And there's the weeding that we need to do. So those are the actions along the way. Trimming things back, maybe pruning, depending on what it is. And those are the things we have to stay in question about. So how can you tend the garden of your finances and your money? And this is whether you feel like you don't have a lot of money right now, or you do and you'd like to have more, or you just would like to have something different with your cash flow and your money resources. The energetic piece of this is so huge, and it's so underestimated. And this is where I want to really go into one of the most dynamic tools that I know of for any kind of creation, and that is energy pulls. So in Access Consciousness, we have these energy flows and energy pulls. And energy pulls are where you get present with your what's going on, what you're asking for. You get really present with it, and then you start to well, I'm going to actually do one. That's what I want to do, is I'm going to do one instead of tell you about it. But let me explain, because one of the things about energy pulls is things get created based on the energy that we're being. And so with energy pulls, you can move through a lot of constructs and limitations in your own world that are actually stopping you from being able to draw in, pull in, actualize those things that you're asking for. And it always occurs energetically first. You have to tend the soil. If you plant a garden in dry and cracked soil, it's not going to be very likely to grow. Those roots have to work so hard to get through the hard soil. If you have like fluffy soil, the roots are like ding, 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 and they just establish beautifully. So you have to tend the soil. And the way that you do that is through changing the energy of what you're being. And also like looking at different aspects of, what you could let go of, what you could be more of, and pulling on, the resources of the universe, the energies of the universe that draw money towards you, or whatever it is that you're asking for, with ease. Energy pulls are about relaxing. They're about turning up our potency. They're one of my favorite tools. I've done thousands of them over the years, and I'm going to be doing a 65-day money pull, 10 minutes a day on Zoom, recorded, every day for 65 days for $65. I'm so excited. And we are going to change some shit, because it is one of the cool things is like there's something available with money and cash flow now that has not been before. And it's a beautiful moment to just jump in and start to really turn the tides and play with the poles and see what can show up. So 65 days for $65. And it's going to be let's see. It starts in a week. You'll see this on Wednesday. It starts on Saturday, September 6th, and it'll go through mid-November. It'll probably be open a lot of that time as well for you to jump in. But jump on the train, man. It's going to be so fun. I love doing energy pulls and I love playing with the money tools. And what I'll do is every day bring a little topic. I want to keep them short so that they're just easy to get to every day. There's just going to be a little topic and something to play with, and then we pull, and then we're done. And I'm excited to have a big group of people all over the world pulling together money into a different reality, a different future. So on that note, let me give you a little taste. This is the pre money pulls pull. And maybe you've never done an energy pull, or maybe you have. They're different every time, and we get to play with different energies, different topics, different things to look at every time. So start by relaxing your body, relaxing your brain, and just for this moment, sit back or lay back wherever you may be, and really allow yourself to just have some space. This is not going to be very long. So just give yourself some time right now. Just, 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that, to play with the thing that could actually change and create more with your financial reality. No matter how much money you have, I would imagine, it'd probably be fun to have more. It's always fun to have more. And so what would that be like? And so right now, just let go of any judgments that you have about money. And this is a big sweeping, thing, but as much as you can, just relax yourself away from your judgments that you have about money and toward you as a being. Come home to you. Come home to you. What is it that you know about money, cash flow, wealth, and receiving that you've never allowed yourself to know? You've never acknowledged that you know. And it may be something that is very different, very different. So often we make ourselves wrong because we're different. But perhaps you know something about money, receiving, wealth, creation that nobody else knows. That's your superpower. If you don't allow yourself to have it, your greatest asset and your greatest skill is not being used. You are not using it. So allow yourself to have it. Allow yourself to be different and to relax into that. It's not about figuring out how other people create money. It's about knowing what is true for you with it. Now imagine, perceive. Don't even imagine, but just start to perceive the energies of the financial reality that you know is true for you. The financial future that you know is true for you. You could get into a little bit of specifics like, investments and, ease and just like this, like having a lot of wealth, a lot of assets in a lot of different areas, more than you have now, whatever that may be. And don't get too specific. Let the universe contribute. Let the universe be part of this, the specifics of how this shows up. If you had total peace and ease with money, what would that be like? If you had continuous and increasing amounts of money all the time in your world, what would that be like? If you never had to really think about money and you just knew it was there and it was there to support you in all that you desire to have and create, what would that be like? What would it be like to have more money than you could ever spend and always more, always more, always more? What world would you create? How would you use the money? What futures would you create? Sure, you can think of things for you, but what if you would also include the earth, using money to create a world that you would like to see and you would like to live in? Get an energetic sense of all of that. Peace, ease, joy, never having stress with money again. Having it flow into all that you desire and all that you're creating. And expand that energy out as far as you can go. Get as big as the earth, and then go beyond that. Get as big as the universe. You're an infinite being. Anything and everything that you desire can be yours. You have to go to the energy first. That's what makes it ease. So what if all of life and all of money came to you with ease and joy and glory? Get the energy of that. Reach out across the universe and use your awareness to wake up all the energies that are available to contribute to that. The nature spirits, the light beings, people, like, other beings on the planet, everything that you know, all of your creations, your business, whatever that may be, like wake it all up and be like, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready, universe. I'm ready for so much more. Wake it all up to act on your behalf. And start to pull. And how do you pull? You lower your barriers and you relax and you allow all those energies to move into your world, to feed you, to nurture you, to give you resources, pulling through everybody that would like to be part of everything that you're creating, pulling through all the magic, all of the creations that you have in your life, past, present, and future. Just pull through all of that. Pull through your bank accounts, your investment accounts, all of your assets. Pull through your body. Let it nourish your body. Let it feed you. Pull and turn it up more, and pull more and turn it up more. And then send little trickles out in all directions. Waking up, tickling, activating all of the energies, all of the people, all of the creatures, all of the spirits, every aspect of the universe and the earth that are here to contribute, and just showing them what you're asking for and what you're now willing to receive. and allow all of those energies to just exponentialize a millionfold. What would it be like to practice and play in this way for 65 days? You are invited to join me for the Money Pulse, 65 days, $65. Let's do this thing. If you go to, I believe it's heathernichols.com/pulling money, I think is the URL, but we'll put it down below. Thank you so much, everybody. And please share. This is not a class. You don't have to have any exposure to Access Consciousness to take this class. So let's get the world playing and pulling for money to contribute to a far greater future, and the one that we know is possible. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you for joining me for the Creation of Living podcast. If this conversation was inspiring to you, share the love. To work privately with me or for info on my upcoming classes and retreats, go to heathernichols.com. Have a beautiful day, and remember that the world thrives when you do.